Do you have a friend who is environmentally conscious and extremely difficult to shop for? Fear not, for I have the perfect gift suggestion for you. By the end of this video, you're going to know how to adopt your very own penguin. And somewhere in the middle, I might tell you why their feet don't freeze. African penguins used to be numerous. Their populations have declined by 95% since pre-industrial times. Their populations declined due to oil spills affecting the birds heavily. Heavy fishing is also a big issue, forcing the penguins to swim out further into the deep, searching for food. In some cases, abandoning their nests and chicks. But oil spills and overfishing are more recent issues regarding the penguins. The historic reason why their numbers keep declining is because we discovered that the eggs are quite delicious and translucent, which is cool. African penguin eggs were considered a delicacy and collected up until the late 1970s to be eaten. The method involved with collecting African penguins was smashing the eggs you found a few days before to ensure that you only collect fresh eggs. Obviously, this caused a drastic decline of the African penguin population. People who have tried penguin eggs point out that they taste fishy, but in a mild and appealing way. This has made me wonder about different eggs. I discovered emu eggs are green and crocodile eggs are also fishy, with a much stronger fish taste. So I was saying the population of the penguins are declining around the Cape Coast where the penguins are found. This decline was hastened by the removal of guano from the islands around the Cape Coast where the penguins nested. The removal of the guano caused a lack of burrowing materials which the penguins used to build nests, so the breeding habits were also disrupted. African species are commonly seen in zoos across the world. The African penguin particularly adapts well to these captive environments and are rather easy to breed compared to other members of the penguin family. Okay, I did promise to tell you why penguin feet don't freeze, but we're not yet done with this video, so please stick around to the end and make sure to leave a like. As promised, here's why their feet don't freeze. It turns out that penguins can control the blood flow in their feet. They also have a system of blood vessels that reduce heat loss from their bodies. These two things help keep their feet above freezing and prevents their feet from sticking to the ice. Penguin legs work like a heat exhaust system. Blood cools as it moves away from the body towards the feet and reheats as it comes back up to the body. This keeps the body warm and keeps their feet a few degrees above freezing. So the feet receive cool blood and doesn't lose heat, and the body stays nice and toasty. Two colonies were established on the African mainland in the 1980s. One in Betty's Bay near Simonstown and one near Cape Town at Boulders Beach. The penguins at Boulder Beach are fairly tame and you can approach them up to 1 meter without freaking them out too much. Visitors are advised not to get closer than 3 meters, including their camera lenses or any other equipment they might be carrying with them. This is for their comfort and safety as well as your own safety. Boulders Beach was voted the 9th best beach in the world. 1 or 2 locals might have been pissed off by that because they expected better. I don't think they're being Karens. This is actually an amazing beach. You get to come up pretty close to the penguins and even swim with them. It's actually a great swimming area, especially for smaller kids. The boulders shelter the beach from winds and currents. Just from the pictures you could probably tell it's a great area to explore. There's restaurants nearby and you can even pack your own picnic. The only real downside to Boulders Beach is there's an entry fee. That's because this beach is a conservation area managed by Sunparks. The entrance fee for adults is roughly 150 Rand and for children 80 Rand. That's the highest possible rate for international tourists, but if you live in the Saudic region, it will be less, and if you're a South African citizen, it will also be less. So come to this beach, it's fairly affordable. A good exchange rate to make quick calculations in your head for the dollar is about 18 Rand to $1. You just buy the entrance tickets at the gate, and then a good amount of that will go towards conservation. The first European explorer to come across the African penguins was probably Bartholomew Diaz, although his cruise notes doesn't really mention them. The first time these penguins come up in writing is found in the logs of the crew of Vasco da Gama. He mentions discovering these birds at the southern end of Africa, which barks like donkeys, where the name jackass penguin comes from. Next time you're out and about at your local zoo or aquarium, feel free to bring some lavender along with you. The penguins love it. The males present the females with the lavender in the breeding season, and they build their nests with it. It's got calming as well as anti-parasitic properties. In order to adopt a penguin, you need to make a donation to the South African Foundation for the Conservation of Coastal Birds. They will then provide you with a certificate of adoption, which includes a picture of your chosen penguin as well as some information, like specific details on your chosen bird and a letter of thanks from your penguin. This charity actually helped participate and oversee the largest animal rescue event in history back in the year 2000. 19,000 adult penguins were oiled by a tanker named the MV Treasure. An additional 19,500 seabirds had to be removed from the environment to avoid further contamination. This charity is in touch with zoological societies around the world to ensure the survival of the penguin and can be contacted for any seabirds that you might discover in South Africa that are in distress. The adoption helps fund costs related to rehabilitating your penguin back into the wild. They had over 91% success rate with rehabilitation and release of penguins related to the MV Treasure. Last I heard, the Cape Town branch of this organization is building an education and visitor center, so donations make a real tangible impact on the ground. This isn't some no-name charity that's just a money haul. More details are in the description. Researchers are currently studying whether ship noises are interfering with the penguins' feeding habits, since their lack of access to food seems to be their biggest concern. The introduction of ship-to-ship refueling has made Port Elizabeth one of the busiest bays in the world. In 2021, a seabird ranger doing a routine inspection offshore on the islands close to Port Elizabeth discovered that most of the colony was starving. Another colony in the same bay had already declined by 85% between 2016 and 2021. The decision was made to call in SANParks, South African National Parks, to bring in a helicopter to airlift the chicks to be hand raised on the mainland. These are the chicks that you could be adopting. Thanks for watching.